avoid making the worst mistake as a DM in playing Dungeons & Dragons, or even GMing any other game for that matter. Good morning, gamers, and hello, YouTubes. I am pretty excited because tomorrow marks the 100th vlog that I will record, and that would make today DnDaily number 99. So please tune in for tomorrow's edition and stay tuned now, because I'm going to talk about two things for just a moment really quickly here. I'm going to talk about the Chain of Acheron, and I'm going to talk about a tip for all DMs that I think we should all keep in mind. I had a conversation last night, and I'm going to share some of that with you because I think it's really good advice. So first and foremost, the Chain of Acheron. I've mentioned it on here a bunch of times. Here's their logo, and this is sort of their coat of arms. Now, these people are playing such a great game. You can find them on MCDM Presents, and they are what's really fun for me, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I just noticed today that the episode 13 is on YouTube, and I haven't checked it out yet, so I'm kind of excited about listening to that later today. And they are just a bunch of friends playing a D&D game and letting us in. That's how Critical Role started, and yet Critical Role is a bunch of professional voice actors. So we get a real show when we're watching Critical Role, which is part of the reason we all love it. However, with the Chain, what we're getting is, it feels to me like just really authentic D&D, and it happens to be a really good game with a bunch of cool people. So, still also really fun to watch. Now, I'm not going to say much more about it other than I'm just excited about digging into this again. They're on session 13, and I hope you've been checking it out. If not, give them a minute. Give them a look. Start with number 1, of course, and just see if it suits you. Something that they do that's real fun and unique is every character has a nickname because they're a mercenary band. And in this mercenary band, no one uses their actual names. You only have your kind of nickname, and that is the name you use in the Chain. And it seems like if someone really actually knows your name, there's this certain element of like power that they have with that or something. So it's kind of fascinating. I hope that they'll get more into that as they progress through this campaign. Alright, now that's the quick thing about the Chain. I'm excited about seeing episode 13. I hope you'll check them out. The second thing I'm going to talk about real quick here is a conversation that I had with a few friends last night. It was actually on Discord. We were just chatting back and forth. But it's really important, and I think a super interesting way to avoid conflicts, confrontations, and just being a dick as a DM. That's really what I'm going to say about this. So here's what it was about. Someone was talking about introducing rules for madness into their game. Now, this is kind of a touchy area because, like, if you look at Curse of Strahd and things like that, there are places where a sort of more sinister, more dark game is going to be played out, and people will probably enjoy it. The thing I want to talk about is the importance of addressing that with your group ahead of time. The worst thing that can happen in a D&D game is that people have the players, let's say, have a certain expectation. This can happen from the DM too. The DM has an expectation. But if the players have an expectation and then the DM does something totally different, like way out in left field different, the players are all going to be disappointed. They're probably not going to be having fun, and the game might just fall apart. And the absolute worst is you kind of make some enemies. I mean, you make people, you end up with people that you like really dislike for some reason. We pray and hope that that doesn't happen. However, I've experienced things like that, where the DM and the players have a different idea about what a game should be like, or how the game should go, what style, what genre, and so forth, and it just disintegrates into like chaos or just unhappiness and discomfort, and either everybody just kind of like goes their own way without really saying anything about it, or maybe you try to resolve it, and if you're lucky, you will, and if not, I mean, you got to move on, right? So avoid making the worst mistake as a DM in the realm of playing Dungeons and Dragons, or even GMing any other game for that matter, and make sure before the game even starts, you communicate your intentions and your idea for your game clearly. Is it going to be high fantasy? Is it going to be murder mystery? Is it going to be gothic dark, sinister? Is it going to be futuristic? There's so many things that can be cleared up ahead of time, which will avoid the players or the DM getting frustrated or downright upset and angry. So that should be done ahead of time. Now, if you have an idea to introduce something, you get a spark of inspiration. I should try using critical hit roll tables, rather. Let's use critical hit tables. Well, you might think that's a cool idea, but your players might hate it. So, before you implement any major changes in your games, make sure you have a conversation with your players first. So that's what we talked about last night. Was one of the guys thought he was going to introduce madness into his campaign, and we were like, well, wait a minute, bro, maybe you want to talk to your players first. And he said, well, no, it's cool because they already knew this was going to be kind of a dark and dangerous campaign. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty much all you have to do ahead of time. If you've had that conversation and the players sort of know what they're in for, then have fun. So that's my tip for today. I hope you're having a great weekend. And just to summarize one more time and make it very clear is, before the game starts, have a conversation with your crew and avoid the worst mistake in gaming, which is the GM and the players have totally different ideas about what's going to happen in the game. And if you're going to introduce something that's game-changing or potentially game-changing, or rules stuff, that kind of thing, discuss it before you actually implement it in your game. There you go. So hopefully that helps you in running some great games. I hope to see you at a table someday. Until then, keep rolling 20s, make sure all your dice are max, and remember, it's your game, play your way.